have to understand the problem it was created to solve. It's really about what happens when the old way of telling computers what to do just doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so this right here is the fundamental shift. On the left, you've got traditional programming. For decades, this was it. A person, a programmer, sits down and writes a very specific list of rules. The computer just follows them, no questions asked. But on the right, that's machine learning. We completely flip the script. We give the machine a ton of data, and we tell it to figure out the rules on its own.
And this diagram just makes it crystal clear. Look at the left side, traditional programming. You put in data plus the rules you wrote, and out pop the answers. Simple enough. Now look at the right. With machine learning, you put in data plus the answers, examples of what you're looking for, and what the machine spits out are the rules. The machine is literally writing its own program. It's a total game changer.
So why does this matter so much? Well, think about trying to write a program that knows if someone is walking or running or riding a bike. You could try to write a rule like, if speed is over 10 miles an hour, they're running. But what if they're going downhill? Or what if they're a pro cyclist? The number of if this, then that rules you'd have to write would be an absolute nightmare. It's impossible. This is exactly where the old way just hits a brick wall.
So, if we can't write the rules ourselves for these really complex problems, how on earth do we get a computer to solve them? Well, the answer is pretty cool. We have to teach it how to learn for itself.
Okay, this is the classic academic definition of machine learning. I know, it sounds a little dense, a little textbooky, but it actually breaks down really nicely. All it's saying is that a computer learns when it gets better at a specific task by gaining experience, and you can actually measure how much better it's getting. Let's make that real.
Let's use that spam filter example to bring that definition down to earth. The task, T, is simple. Figure out if an email is spam or not. The experience, E, comes from showing it thousands, maybe millions of emails that a human has already labeled spam or not spam. And its performance, P, that's just the percentage of new emails it gets right. The more emails it sees, the better it gets at its job. See? That's learning, plain and simple.
All right, so we get the basic idea now. But how does this learning process actually happen? It's not magic, I promise. There's a real method to the madness, kind of like a recipe that data scientists follow to build these smart systems. And here's that recipe, laid out as a 7-step journey. It takes you all the way from getting your hands on some data to eventually making a real prediction. Now, every single one of these steps is super important, but to really get the heart of it, we're going to zoom in on the big 3. Gathering data, training the model, and then, finally, making predictions. So here's the core of it. First, you gather data, and this is absolutely the foundation. You've probably heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out. Well, it is 100% true here. The quality of your data dictates everything. Second, you train the model. This is where the magic happens. The machine makes a guess, checks if it was right, adjusts its own thinking, and tries again. And again, millions of times over. It's kind of like a kid learning to ride a bike. They wobble, they fall, they adjust, and they try again until suddenly it just clicks. And finally, you predict. The trained model can now take what it's learned and apply it to brand new data it's never seen before. Okay, we've covered the what and the how. Now let's talk about the where. Because the truth is, this technology isn't just sitting in some research lab. It is deeply, deeply woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. Just think about your phone for a second. When Facebook sees your friend's face in a photo and suggests you tag them, that's machine learning. When you ask your smart assistant for the weather and it actually understands you, yep, that's it too. And that social media feed that seems to know exactly what you want to see, it's learning from every single thing you like and share.